Hi, this is Billy Silikane, founder and president of Global Conference Television. We are out here at Zebra Lodge at the annual Professional Speakers of Southern Africa's convention. This is an amazing setting, beautiful African day, and we've got a plethora of speakers from different countries. And today, it's an honor and a privilege for me to interview one of the men that I refer to as a great friend of mine. He's from the Netherlands. He's my true Dutch friend, Paul Terwaal. Good morning, Paul, and how are you?
Good morning, Billy. I'm feeling great, especially when I'm here interviewed by you.
It's a pleasure and a big privilege. I liked your keynote because what you're talking about is what I'm also talking about. I'm actually on Tuesday, I'm going to be talking to an executive team about engagement and values because some member of the executive team flaunted the core values and they've created a very untenable situation inside an organization. Now, in your own experience, the disengaged, the fully engaged individuals, how do we create a transitional process to help them to shift from one place to the other?
Well, I think it's very important for the people to understand why they are disengaged or why they are fully engaged. The point is most people start to work in an organization because they want to earn money. Or they did an education and could start in that firm. I started 35 years ago in a time that there was many unemployment, so the first job you could get, you took it. So for many people it's still the same. They are working in an organization and they do their job, they love their job, but they have no real connection with the why of the organization. So you need to find out what the why of an organization is, and then look at your own core values, and I love to call them non-negotiables because that's much more deeper than a core value. And when you know your non-negotiables and you know the why of the organization, you can get some alignment. And people who are fully disengaged have no alignment with the organization anymore. Maybe they had, but they were disappointed by their manager, by the organization, by something that happened in their team, and they think, it's over for me.
Absolutely. Because what I find fascinating is if you look at the South African context, actually I knew those numbers, and it's quite shocking that only 9% of the South African working population is engaged, 45% totally disengaged, and 46% just riding the wave.
Yep.
Now, when we look at productivity, of course, it plummets down to the ground. Now, both at organizational and at country level, what kind of interventions do you think we can do to change the complexion of this landscape of engagement?
Well, the foremost problem is in organizations and in countries is politics. When politics becomes power, and with power pressure, people are getting disengaged. So the companies who have high fully engaged people, the manager, the CEO, is not on top of the organization, he is at the bottom of the organization. He is supporting the professionals. And we see in most countries and most organizations that we shape the organization like this.
Absolutely.
And we should shape it like this. So the people who are doing the job are the professionals. They are on top.
Absolutely.
They have the connection with the people who are, we call customers. So if you have the right connection and the rest is facilitating, that's the way to do it.
Actually, what's fascinating is what you're speaking about. I've got a concept called the pot, the power of a tribe. Now, in old Africa, in the authentic part of Africa, when Africa was untouched, that's how we operated. We operated this way, not this way.
Yep.
Because this way, it's a model that was created by the Romans in 2 BC or whatever.
Yep.
And unfortunately, I say to people, a model that was created in 2 BC cannot become viable in 2016 AD. Yep. And we see that happening because in organizations, we've got the shareholders on top, they
Yep.
put pressure on the CEO. He hires his exco and hires the managers, and they kill everybody at the bottom.
Yep.
They don't care how people feel. They don't
Yep.
care whether they give meaning to people. So it's fascinating that what you're thinking about is what I'm advocating, and I'm
Yep.
saying that in an African tribal environment, the chief served at the behest of the people,
Yep.
not the other way around.
Yep.
And there was total engagement because every challenge that was faced by the tribe,
Yep.
everybody was engaged
Yeah.
in finding a solution.
Well, it's you can call it a form of democracy.
Yes.
And I think we should be aware that, of course, shareholders are very important.
Yeah.
But by showing the job demand resources model, I can show that the shareholder will get much more value by have fully engaged people.
Absolutely.
And we don't need 100% fully engaged people, because then it's we will all go mad. But to have about 35% fully engaged people and disengaged about 8 to 10, because there will always be people who want to go away, but help them to go away in a nice way, peacefully, not firing, but saying, hey, you're not in alignment, you're not accountable to us, let go. Then you will see that the shareholder value will go much higher, because productivity goes up, it's positive, so we get more money. So instead of looking at the short term, we should look at the longer term, and that's what's going in the tribal environment. It's looking for the long term of living together, working together, instead of looking at what can we earn tomorrow. That's the problem.
You know, the funny thing is, as we're speaking, I've always said that if you look at law, and unfortunately or fortunately, South Africa will practice Roman Dutch law.
Yep.
From the Roman to the Dutch, we mixed it. Now, Roman Dutch law is punitive, not restorative.
Yep.
Now, if you look at Afrocentric law, it was always say, if somebody's done wrong, how do we restore them back into society? So the same in organizations, we've got to learn to bring people back into the fold. And if they cannot come to the fold, we've got to find a way of opening the door for them in a much more purposeful and peaceful way.
Yeah. Well, what we've done in the Netherlands, and I studied law and worked in the law practice for many years, we're always at the back of something happening. We call it social security, we call it labor law, whatever. It's always on the back end. And what I found in practice is that we have to take more responsibility to prevent things from happening. And that takes a different mindset.
Absolutely.
So in law, we are always, when you do something wrong, we punish you. If you get ill, we give you money. If you get unemployed, we will give you money. But instead of helping people not to get there, that's an amazing part. We can work that much better.
Absolutely. Now, this is just amazing, because in the past couple of months, I've been toying around with this concept, because I work with a lot of organizations around culture and around engagement. And each time I tell people, think, oh my God, this is amazing. But this knowledge has always been there.
Yep.
We've just been obliviously ignorant of it.
Yep.
For our own end, because like you're saying, when politics rise, engagement drops. So people are leading based on their egos. I'm the CEO, what I say goes.
Yep.
You can't come with your own innovation and those
Yep.
kind of things. So it's quite profound that we all seen that change has to happen. Now, in your parting shot, can you give our viewers, either as a leader, an employee, somebody that's starting up a company, or somebody that has a company that has got an engagement challenge, what are the 3 fundamental things that you think that they should start doing?
What I would say first is start with knowing your own why. Start to find out what your set of beliefs is and why you have this organization and why you want to work there. So when you know the why, you have your mission statement, and then you go talk to the people, and that's step number 2, and ask them to find out what their non-negotiables are. And part 3 is see how you can work together and to level those 2. So start with your own why, go to the non-negotiables of the employees, and then try to get alignment and work on that in a positive way. Never in a negative way, always positive.